Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 13 of Alan Wake 2, and a special early hello to Maxine and Cozy Plays. Maxine is dropping the Jelly Buns lurk emote with the two ears, always very fun to see. And I hope you guys have had a great Monday, as far as such a thing is possible. We're going to be jumping into what I've heard is the hardest part of Alan Wake 2, which is the very recently released Lake House DLC. A very quick update loaded as we came into the game, so it's possible that that was a balance patch of some kind, but we're going to be jumping in. And hello to Caroluna! Caroluna, I hope that you've also had a great Monday. If you were streaming earlier, I will have missed it. I was very, very busy first day back from work after being away for the wedding and stuff. Let's... Oh, no, I think we're going to go right into it. Well, hold on. There was this one puzzle. No, I still have absolutely no ideas. Wait, what's that white... There's like a white paper behind the cup that I didn't really pay attention to before, but I can't touch it, and there's nothing written on it. That white paper is as close as anything to, like, the shape that's drawn there. Looks like Kleenex. No, I still... So, sorry, I should have specified. The puzzle that we're talking about is this one right here. I'm very concerned that I have no audio. Ah, there we go. Sorry, I was just dialed down. Yeah, it's this thing over here. I don't have any ideas on this just yet, so we'll maybe circle back to it. And that was the only other thing before what happened at the lake house. So let's jump straight in. This is the lake house DLC. It tells us that in just a second. We're going to find out what's up.
What happened at the lake house?
Right. You've seen firsthand how complicated and messy the FBC's cases are. But this story should help you learn that things can always get weirder. This isn't the Bureau's first time in Bright Falls. 1970, 76, 8... Last one was in 2010. It's not exactly clockwork, but this town sees way more altered world events than most. We knew it was just a matter of time before the lake acted up again. After the AWE in 2010, the FBC's research department set up a facility, the Lake House, to study the threshold in Cauldron Lake, find better ways to contain the entity inside. Your tax dollars at work. When we detected a spike in paranatural activity at Cauldron Lake, before I even knew you were on this case, Saga, the Lake House was my first stop. I was short-handed, hoped they could spare some help, maybe give us some intel on the situation. If I had any clue what was waiting for us in there, Saga, I'd have just kept on driving. This is Agent Kieran Estevez responding to an AWE alert in the vicinity. I need to speak with the Marmons. So much for the welcome wagon. You all set up the perimeter. We're on the Threshold's doorstep, so keep your eyes peeled.
Yes, ma'am.
I assume we're going to learn all their names, personality quirks, life goals, attend their retirement parties. I kind of doubt it's going to be her ID card. She probably would have mentioned that in the cutscene. Wait, fucking
This
what?
shouldn't take long. Okay? You see anything? Radio me.
I absolutely thought that she was going to swipe her card. No, we have to go find like the way to get inside. I didn't think that was going to work. Hello to Asperby. I mean, we didn't think the card was going to work.
Agent Kieran Estevez requesting entry. I don't have time for this.
Also, Maxine is asking, what is an AWE alert or event? It's an Altered World event. AWE's Altered World event. It is some sort of, according to the game control, that is what the FBC uses to...
The lake house was run by the research department. Research and investigations don't really see eye to eye. What they call science, I call a violation of Bureau protocol and human decency. Classic interdepartmental drama. Your FBI saga, you know how it goes. Now, in retrospect, my low opinion of the research department may have clouded my judgment.
It's basically some sort of infringement of extranatural sources onto the normal natural order of planet Earth. In other words, like, weird shit going down. Zool blasting spirits out into the world. Well, what's been happening to Saga, where, like, there's a fictional horror story. I see the bridge. I just want to look around a little bit, because there could be some stuff here. Having her life rewritten and everybody's memories changed by basically a horror story that's being written about them. Like, the idea that fiction is fundamentally altering reality, that's an AWE. Well, card worked last time.
Hello? Agent Kieran Estevez. Investigations Department. No one wants to check the individual carrying a firearm into a restricted government facility? No?
Hello, and welcome to another exciting day here at the Lake House. As I'm sure you know, I am Dr. Jules Marmont, and this is my wife.
Dr. Diana Marmont.
And together we are the heads of research at this facility. We want to thank you all for helping us break new ground in our study of Cauldron Lake.
That's right, Jules. But don't let our exciting work in threshold regulation and dimensional coupling keep you from observing the proper safety protocols.
You said it, Diana. We run a tight ship here at the Lake House. So, always remember the 3 S's. Safety, security, and censorship.
It's a C. It's a C.
Why, yeah. That is the joke, Diana.
Well, it's a stupid
Wonderful joke, Jules. We'll see you down there.
Yeah, that seems healthy.
I wasn't really aiming my gun. I was trying to zoom in, but felt a little self-conscious of just aiming a gun at a large television display. So, urgent reminder, lake safety protocols. Please remember that the following recreational activities are forbidden in the waters of Cauldron Lake. These restrictions apply to both civilians and FBC employees. Fishing, redacted, swimming, boating applies to canoes, kayaks, motorized boat, etc. Using the water for redacted purposes. Water skiing, redacted in the water. Paddle birding. I feel like I'm a bad human being. I don't know paddle birding. These activities can result in redacted in an estimated redacted percentage of cases. If you are unclear about any of the restrictions listed above, please speak with redacted. Background. A recent security operation was performed among the citizens of Bright Falls and Watery. The goal of this operation was to ascertain public knowledge and opinion of the lake house and its operations. The following information was gained through covert listening and informal questioning. The local public appear to view the area around the lake house with fear. This is, of course, the intended reaction, as the Bureau has publicly marked the area as dangerous due to volcanic gases. However, there is a specific rumor among the public regarding a government facility in the woods run by mad scientists, taking people for experimentation. This rumor seems particularly popular among the local youth, and its proximity to the truth is cause for concern. Worst case outcome would be an increase in curiosity or possibly even aggression. It is possible this is even the reason for the lake house's security breach back in Redacted. Action to be taken. Security personnel will continue to monitor youth chatter. If the rumors continue, disseminating a cover story may be required, perhaps even a fabricated signage for an American Volcano Commission type institution. Okay. They really keep the lights low almost everywhere in Bright Falls. Carolyn is saying, you should watch out for large format TVs. They are watching you. Okay, this is an unforgivable use of donuts, honestly. Oh. From Ava Romani to FBC personnel, status update, the oldest house. So I'm so sorry. I feel like I'm a little bit vague on the oldest house. I thought that we kind of resolved things at the end of Control, and here it is some 3 to 5 years later, and everybody's talking about it like it's unavailable. To all staff, on-site observation teams report that the oldest house is still under active lockdown. Status of Director Trench, management team, and all other personnel inside the oldest house at the time of the lockdown's initialization remains unknown. Observation teams have detected fluctuations in the redacted field originating from the oldest house as of redacted, increasing in strength as it loops through a very specific pattern every redacted hours. These readings are currently being analyzed by research staff in the Boston office. Any personnel with information pertaining to this signal should contact them immediately. Sincerely, Ava Romani. I find it interesting that they don't know that Director Trench is gone. So again, we've got pencils arranged in a spiral. We've got these donuts basically being completely perverted from their intended use. Oh, now I'm seeing it. Yep, this one here has crumpled paper balls. Something very circular happened here. But not to the... Oh no, here we go. Circular coffee cups. Yeah, as Asperby says, what a waste of donuts. Carolina agrees, unforgivable. We don't have to identify, I don't think, what is circular on every single person's desk. I just was noticing a pattern. It was really the donuts that brought them out. See, this person at least knows where donuts are supposed to be prior to being consumed.
That's handy.
Okay, I am here. Apparently... Wow, really? Boy, this is the small room.
An experiment. That bodes well.
Wait, map updated for what specifically? I'll take your word for it. So, there's a circle on this board as well, but I don't yet know what that means. Oh, that's where she saw experiment, on the TVs up above it. Okay, so this is one of the Dr. Marmont's offices.
Dr. Marmont's not here. Nobody is?
Well, yeah, Kieran.
I'll have to check downstairs.
He probably would have said hello to us through his giant glass wall if he was here. Oh, hold on. Maybe we should read this one first. Replacement keycard request form. Please fill out the fields below. Before delivering the form to security, a new keycard will be issued to you once your request is processed. So Jules Marmont was requesting one. The highest one, he forgets what it's called. The old card went missing. How would I know if it's stolen or lost? Why do you not put microchips inside to follow them if you're so concerned with this? I'm the head of research, and I expect...
I'll be working on the lower levels.
A
I
new
need to head
card.
down.
Thank you, Kieran. On my desk by the end of the workday. This request form would get lost if I ran the keycard department. Research profile for subject P. Through extensive testing, the subject has been confirmed to possess an intrinsic paranatural activity that manifests exclusively during the act of painting. The paintings feature scenes or events he would have no knowledge of, even sometimes painting an event before it occurs. This effect has been proven multiple times and has an estimated 40 to 100% success rate. Note the lack of precision in this range is due to the team's inability to prove that a painting's content will not be realized at some point in the eventual future. Researchers asked to reiterate their hesitance to publish any concrete statements surrounding the subject and his ability at this time, as the nature of the paintings and their paranatural effect have been exceptionally difficult to measure and quantify. The subject is suspected to be a Class 2 para-utilitarian, though additional testing will be required to confirm this. At this time, his ability is not believed to be a direct threat to himself or others and can be controlled. The nature of his ability to show current or future events via the art he creates, but the extent of this forecasting cannot be determined by researchers with any high level of precision. Unlike the art created by Alan Wake, there's no evidence the subject's art is directly manipulating reality via shadows and energies. All right, there's nothing else here. Caroluna is disagreeing. There should not be multiple donuts on a plate. They're supposed to be in a closed enclosure at all times until being consumed. I certainly wouldn't want dusty donuts, so I approve of having them in a container. Effective September 13, all computer passwords must be reset daily to address security concerns. We're also hiring 40 IT people to help you stop getting locked out. We are aware this may be an inconvenient change and lead to difficulty remembering your password. We recommend using a permanent set of digits as the beginning of the password, followed by numbers that change daily. Try using a significant personal date, coordinates, etc. Do not use birthdays, the current date, phone numbers, etc. Also, please remember that for the time being, passwords are not to exceed 6 digits. This is the craziest password I've ever heard. We're not going to get into this, but just for the record, if you have a business that's setting a password, do the exact opposite of everything on this document. Science fact of the day. It's September 14th. Or at least it was. Though most famous for acting, Hedy Lamarr also invented, in her free time, she patented a frequency-hopping device for torpedo guidance systems at the age of 38. Why do I feel like I've heard that before? I feel like I've heard that exact fact before, but now I'm trying to remember where. So but let's also put away in our heads, passwords are no more than 6 digits and should have some permanent set of numbers followed by something that changes daily. And I don't yet have a guess. I mean, well, this guy is kind of a jerk, and I happen to notice that 38 is highlighted. It seems a little bit bolded. So we could go with 091438. 091438. Let's try that.
Come on.
There's no numbers on this. So it said not the current date. It could be yesterday's date. 091338. It seems unlikely, but let's look.
That's not right.
A permanent set of digits as the beginning of the password, followed by numbers that change daily. Let's look around his office a little bit more. To my new fellow head of the lake house. Love, Diana. Boy, how much did this cost Diana? Can you imagine giving somebody, especially like what possibly your boss or co-boss, a giant bronze bust of himself? And can you imagine being the person that puts that up in their office? Helena Crow! Anyone for homemade spaghetti carbonara made from scratch? Crow, I would eat that all in a heartbeat. You wouldn't have finished the sentence before I'd have my mouth full. Barrows University, on the recommendation of the faculty and by virtue of the authority vested in them, the trustees of Barrows University have conferred on Jules Francois Marmont the degree of Doctor of Applied Science, blah, 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 blah. Okay, get it. Yeah, he got his doctorate. We're all very proud of him. And then from Dr. Casper Darling, head of research, to Dr. Jules Marmont, appointment as facility head. The senior leadership of the Federal Bureau of Control has determined to appoint Dr. Marmont as the head of research at the facility at Cauldron Lake. The appointment will be shared with Diana Marmont, effective upon the facility's completion on July 18th. Okay, July 18th seems like a big damn deal. July 18. So we can go with 07-1838? Yay, I'm the best hacker. And it's a good thing we got it on the third try, or else it would have locked out. We would have immediately failed the DLC. God damn, that sounds really good, Crow. Unlock door. Okay, should we start from the bottom? I don't know, I'm just going to read it from the top. Please remember to lock your computer before leaving your station for any amount of time. Change your password daily does not improve our facility's security if you leave your computer open. Project Arbutus has officially requested we return the pages. We aren't using them for any work on Project Romnus. And they are shared research materials, so can I release them back to Arbutus? No response yet. Kingston wants to know if Wednesday will work. Marmont says, go fuck yourself, Jules. Oh, this is his wife. His wife said back to him, I think they're married, go fuck yourself. I apologize for the difficulty my wife is presenting, Harry. Jesus Christ. Did he, hold on. Yeah, he copied his wife on this. His wife is, no, it's to her. She's on the 2 line, not even like a forgotten CC. I believe my wife is suggesting that I would take her project's budget, an unfair and preposterous accusation, though I'm confident you understand that. I'd be happy to meet to discuss the annual budget. It is, of course, the head of research's job to oversee such work. Maybe Diana is no longer up to the task. What the Okay, we're going to move on. I wouldn't talk about an enemy at work this way. D. Marmont, Diana, is too busy to attend meetings. Just use the budget from last year, but make sure to specify that a specific percentage of the research budget is to go towards Project Arbutus, so certain individuals won't be tempted to slow down their competition by stealing resources. And this starts off with a friendly reminder that proposed annual budgets need to be sent out by the end of this month. Every station is being asked to give a thorough breakdown this year in an effort to find areas which spending can be reduced. Got it. Okay. So, yeah, I'm not a fan of this guy. Look, the health or mutual levels of respect in his, like, personal and professional relationships, not really my business. Sacking your wife right in front of, like, the head of, like, the budget or whatever, that's just unprofessional. I mean, you're a terrible husband and a terrible colleague, but also you're just like a terrible staff member. Oh, Crow is handing out the spaghetti carbonara. God, that sounds good. The Lake House Daily. Good news, HQ is still dark. Pie was good. More pie for the rest of us. We have coffee and Deerfest is this week. Wow, so this is really recent. I'm sitting here thinking I don't necessarily know how far back this is, but no, this happened very recently. Bad news, HQ is still dark. Nut allergy bad. No Ama beer. It's good. Tried it. The artist is illegible. Yeah, I'm going to say we can't really see what that says. Artist is illegible. Someone stole the black whiteboard. The black whiteboard marker. All vacation time is canceled. Maybe that's not as funny as I think it is. Is there such a thing as a black whiteboard? I mean, there's no reason that you couldn't draw in red or blue or, yeah, like a white dry erase marker. It just really seems to defeat the purpose of having called a whiteboard, rather. Robness daily stand-up, no doodling. Also, just as I'm, like, searching this room, did we ever come to any sort of, clarity on why the work log showed the 31st of February as being a date where a lot of work had happened? That was continuing to bother me after the stream. Like, what did that mean? How was it not part of the clue? Why is it the 31st of February? There are multiple other months that could have been, and it wouldn't have bothered me.
This should come in handy.
There's also like 28 other days of February it could have been. 29, depending on the year. But what is this, 2013? 2023. That was not a leap year. Okay, there doesn't seem to be anything else in here. So as far as I know, the door is unlocked. Probably the door to this large elevator. Is there anything else that we know of that I should interact with? Not that I've seen. I feel like that's a really good once around on this floor. Carolina says, they're from before they started with whiteboards. They're called blackboards. Yeah, see, that's what I would call them. Well, we're going to trust Kieran to know where we're going. I assume these are off on their own side of the panel because we need something more. So why don't we, if we're on G level, we're going to go to -1.
As soon as I got in that elevator, my bad news detector started going nuts. Estevesta team, something's going on in the lake house. I want all nearby agents to... Oh, shit!
Agent Estevez, what's your status?
Breach detected on sublevel 5. Staff should seek shelter immediately.
We have a situation in the lake house. All agents converge on the facility now. Belay that order. Shit. A threshold event had hit the lake house. Now it was... Where's the fucking elevator?
I didn't mean to cut her off. I was just looking around.
Okay. Priority 1, get the lights on. Standing around in the dark near Cauldron Lake is not smart.
Kieran, I wanted to hear the rest of what you were going to say. That's the trouble with, like, being me. I can't, like, ask her to talk again.
What the fuck was that?
Carolina says, blackboards are actually, dark mode whiteboards. Yeah, I would support calling black whiteboards night mode whiteboards. Oh. I still remember, I just think about this randomly from sometimes. There's actually, in Doom 3, they actually wrote in an
Okay.
Hold on.
Power core receiver. Plugging a core in should get the lights on.
An in-universe reason for why there were chainsaws on Mars. Like it was like a botched shipment or something like that. I have to say that if I was playing a Doom game, I would not be so terribly concerned about what the in-universe reason was for the chainsaws. I'd probably be too busy using the chainsaw, but it was damn important to somebody because they wrote a whole, like, thing about it.
That is not a regulation FBC weapon.
Find a way to get the gun by exploring the facility. Is that... what gun? Oh, that gun. I mean, yeah, I'd love to have that.
Can't open it from the side.
Hey, do you guys remember when they made a Ghostbusters game that was like A, a really good Ghostbusters game, and B, a pretty good game?
Jules's keycard. Could be useful.
Unfortunately, Jules' keycard went missing last night. Huge shame. On a totally unrelated note, I now have a level 3 clearance card in my office, plus a lot of Blackrock. Been grinding the Blackrock down to a powder and stashing around in case any gets confiscated. Next steps, weapon test using Blackrock powder. If successful, maybe send schematics to off-site teams. Could lead to a transfer out of this shithole. Need to think up more applications for Blackrock now that I have some. There was a researcher at the oldest house who had tons of ideas like this. Wish I could remember their name. I also will not remember their name. Before I pick that up, because it seems a little bit large to stick into my jeans pocket, I just want to make sure that we didn't find anything else in here. This is locked. Inventory management, by the way. Oh, and let me just look at it on the map. So... yeah, inventory management should be easy to remember because we've got unknown weapon. Oh, and that's what we need. Security clearance keycard 3. So whoever wrote this, hold on, can I read that again? Because I just don't know which office I'm looking for. Whoever wrote this, which is unnamed. Yeah, unfortunately, this person who wrote like this handwritten memo about their like crime didn't sign it. Seems just stupid as shit.
I wish they'd make these things lighter. The way I saw it, there was only one way out. Identify the source of the event and contain or eliminate it. Now, good news, I just had to keep going down. Bad news, the elevator liked to disappear.
Hello to Jab! Jab, we have just recently started off the... hold on, I've completely lost track of where I'm going. We've just started the Lake House DLC for Alan Wake 2. So far, Kieran Estevez, who's the person you see on screen, is leading a security team into the lake house and has become separated by a disappearing elevator. Which really is her own fault because she sent her, like, her detail away to, like, explore while she did something. So, I feel like there's a door over here. Oh, and something is slithering around in the dark, but it hasn't bugged me yet. Research order. As the Lake House continues to make progress towards its goal, various avenues of research are being pursued. Recently, one such avenue has yielded unexpected results. The research into nursery rhymes, directed by Doctors and Doctors Marmot, led by Dr. Campbell, as an art form, has shown viability in its ability to connect with the Cauldron Lake threshold. As a result, the nursery rhyme findings will now be carried forward by the co-heads of research and incorporated into ongoing research across the Lake House, effective immediately. Research teams will be briefed on how to utilize the effective elements of the nursery rhymes in their own work. Dr. Campbell and his team are being reassigned. They will continue to develop their work on nursery rhymes outside the Lake House. Any exposure risk related to performing confidential work outside the facility's premises has been acknowledged and accepted by the co-heads of research. Threshold linking experiment. This is by Jules. The work to create a stable link between our reality and that of the redacted continues. Why? Okay, I'm sure that there's a reason they want to do that. I would rather close it and then seal it shut and then like cauterize it. Progress is good, with all teams reporting high confidence that a successful connection will soon be possible. Recent efforts in utilizing the paintings produced by Subject P to adjust reality in such a way that achieves our goals were unsuccessful. However, this result allowed us to discard that avenue of research and focus solely on a much more viable one. Our new hypothesis states that the threshold's energies, and thus its reality-altering effect, are drawn to pieces of art that contain significant levels of emotion. This is supported by a clear trend in the data we have gathered over the years. If we can identify and quantify the emotion of an art piece, our work will speed up considerably. Hold on, I need to bite my tongue for a second. Ow. Okay. I can just think of so many ways to do a piece of art that engenders a lot of emotion, but we're gonna go on. And hello to Grumpy! Jab is only gonna be here for about an hour. The work has proceeded with an immediate focus on developing devices capable of measuring the level of emotion in any given piece of art. I noticed that emotion is capitalized because otherwise I'm like, I don't know how you would measure the emotion in the art. For now, our research will continue to focus solely on the art produced by Subject P. While no pieces of his have yielded successful results outside of their assistance in discovering the redacted pages, his proven status as a para-utilitarian makes his work the most suitable research material. I want to know more about the devices that allow you to research the amount of emotions, to quantify emotions. This episode of Agatha All Along engendered 2 + 3 emotions. God. Oh, God. Oh!
Dr. Darling.
Can we hear from him? God damn it. Also, you guys, again, I'll point out that it actually projects onto the character, the video, which I think is extremely cool. And she projects a shadow on the thing. I cannot tell you the number of games that don't do that, but this does not appear to be accessible.
Okay, he doesn't do a damn thing without power.
I feel like Kieran might want to consider the possibility that the power is not off by accident. Like, maybe the people that work here turned it off for a reason. Isn't that the way that this goes? We get the power back on, and then, like, the containment doors open up and the horrible things come out? We did read this, yes? Right. Yeah, they're building a stable link between two realities, one of which wants to kill us. Jav is asking if we're watching Agatha. Unfortunately, at the time, we don't have access to Disney Plus, so I've seen 0 episodes of it. I've heard from people that I know and enjoy that they've enjoyed it a whole bunch. Okay, so... Wait, panel control switch? Is that the thing that we just noted doesn't do anything without power? It is. So let me go over here. There's apparently a container that I missed. That should really just be the colon in the title of Alan Wake 2. Alan Wake 2, the container that I missed. Okay. What else do we have? Well, another container back here. Oh, you guys, it's also occurring to me for the very, very first time that these are the paintings painted by Subject P. And don't tell me, but if I'm supposed to have a guess on who Subject P is, I absolutely do not. Jav has heard mixed things about it. I feel like among the people that I follow, I've mostly heard good things, but... Okay, so this is just back here again. Can I save even if we don't have a bright light? I was actually just thinking about The Acolyte, another series of which I've seen 0 episodes, but what was it? It was I think it was episode 3 or episode 4. Oh my god. You would have thought that like lit everybody's cat on fire. I have never seen so many angry and upset YouTubers in my entire life. The number of channels that got permanently blocked on that day. Holy shit. I have no opinion of this series. If anything, I've become more curious to see it, but yeah, you want to measure emotion coming out of a piece of art. Just feed fucking Acolyte into their readings and blow them all out. So I'm not yet certain what to do. We know this doesn't work without power, even though I put the power core on the thing. Maybe there was like a fuse that I was supposed to throw or something. I'm just not sure that I've ever been as mad about anything as some of these people are about everything. That's old news. The new thing that's happening right this minute is Dragon Age the Veilguard, like the advanced copies went out, and like so people that got the advanced codes or the what's it called, the embargo just ended as of today. So wherever the people got like advanced codes, like outlets and YouTubers and whatever else, they all published their stuff, and anybody that didn't get their code is not too happy about that. All right, you know, I can understand that. That's fine. The amount of conspiracy theorying about it is interesting. Moreover, what I find interesting about watching the whole thing go down is the number of... Wait, why did I have an A? Is this where... This is where I found the power core.
Bingo. That keycard's gonna get me to sub-level 5.
Right, but we don't have that. And we already picked up the thing. Let me go back to the dumb thing. Crow says there's lots of reasons why it's not great, and yes, some of them are that common issue that people have these days, but the majority of it is due to the bad writing, bad acting, terrible story, and bad visual effects. Is that, wait, is that Agatha all along, or is that the Acolyte? Someday, we will watch The Acolyte, and I will have an opinion of it. Oh, really? In my head, I threw that switch. Believe me, I saw it. I guess I decided to take a walk around first. All right.
At least the elevator's back.
Well, we still want to throw this switch here. See, that Merble Blurble keeps happening. Oh, we don't get to hear from Dr. Darling. It would be a little bit weird if we got to hear from him. I think that he might sound very familiar. Crow gave it a shot. Oh, wait. Some stuff scrolled. 1 second. I'm someone, says Crow. Whoops. Who gives everything a chance. And yeah, I couldn't stomach it. I'm a Star Wars fan, the originals and Rogue One. It was The Acolyte. It was awful. I shall drop in and we'll move on. Well, Crow, once I see it, I'll be interested to like connect with other people that saw it. Astra B thought it was great and was quite bummed it got canceled. Crow was stuffed with food, plus homemade brownies and cream for dessert. That sounds really good. But yeah, no, the thing is, and I feel like the folks here are in this position, it's okay to enjoy something that somebody else doesn't, and vice versa. Like Crow, I don't know if you were here, but I called this out during Star Trucker. I wanted to call it out during another episode as well. From what I understand, and if this proves to be untrue in some way, then I apologize. But according to multiple... Wait, can I look at this? But just very quickly before I forget, From Software reportedly raised the wages for everybody that works there based on the financial and critical success of the Elden Ring and the Erd Tree DLC. Now, I don't play FromSoft games. Like, that's just not a style of game that I enjoy very much. It's just me personally. I think that's awesome. I'm so glad that that company is producing the kinds of games that people enjoy, and that they enjoy it so much that everybody that made those games is now reportedly going to get a raise. That's awesome. Like the fact that those specific games don't speak to me in no way renders a judgment against the people that enjoy it. And I know that you guys are the same way on like what's your opinion on this entertainment product? It's cool, man, if some people like it and some people don't. What I'm talking about when I like reference it in the way that I just did are the people that are not in this community and are not in anything resembling a community. It's more like a pack. It's more like a cult. It's more like a gaggle of people that are just sort of collected around their like unified hatred of something. And that's the only thing that binds them together, just like hate watching stuff. Those are the people that I'm just like mystified by. Like, go do something better with your time, man. How long is your life? There is a significant amount of Blackrock missing from sub-level 5. Oh, they found him out. I expect there is a misunderstanding and someone has taken it to another floor by mistake. If you did this, respond to this message and we'll fix the problem. Blackrock is precious material. We only have so much of it now with the oldest house being closed. Yeah, we went to a Blackrock quarry in Control. Pages request. Perry, do not release any of those pages. Tell Diana and those fools on Project Arbutus that we misplaced them. An unfortunate filing accident. Tell them we're confident the pages will resurface in 2 or 3 weeks, but we are too busy making progress to look for them right now. Be sure you say we are making progress just as I wrote it above. Dr. Jules Marmont. He fucking lies. Like, it's like lying to your coworker is bad enough, but when your coworker is also your spouse, I just don't get this guy. He's really dislikable so far. A gentle reminder that nut allergies are a serious health issue, and making light of them is not appropriate workplace behavior for anyone in any seniority level. Bringing nuts to the office is a health risk and should be avoided for everyone's safety. To celebrate the arrival of fall, I have brought a variety of seasonal pies from that local diner you all seem to love so much. The members of Project Romnus can come enjoy them in the lobby near my office. All of their staff should visit the other Dr. Marmon's office to see if she brought pie. I fucking hate this guy. Are we going to find a lot of, like, emails from Diana that she's also, like, a horrible person? I'd really like to balance this out. Despite that ridiculous dramatics of last year... okay, I'm just going to move on. I can't get animated by this. Please remember to lock your computer before leaving your station. Got it. I don't have a nut allergy myself. I don't, to my knowledge, work in a location where people have nut allergies. If I did, I'd want to be exceedingly careful about that, because can you imagine being responsible for the harm or death of another person because you were just such a tool bag that you couldn't back off of the pies while you happen to be at work? Yeah, Crow is saying good to them, and I apologize if I missed anything, because I didn't want to like wander too far from the game. But yeah, no, Asperby, it's very interesting to me that it's nice to hear a variety of opinions on something. This is a case that Tom Chick has made. Tom Chick, game reviewer, really dislikes the idea that games are unified around the 7 to 9 scale, and that, you know, that there seems to be a push for like a universal, like, this game is good and therefore everyone will enjoy the game that is good. He makes the case very strongly, frankly, that well, this clearly says security clearance 2, but we're gonna scan this anyway.
Need a higher clearance keycard.
Yeah, we're not there yet.
If you can understand me, I am an agent of the Federal Bureau of Control. I can assist you if you take no... It never fucking works. Pistol's no good.
Yeah, no, pistol doesn't count and flashlight doesn't count. I'm not going down the dead end. Go! Okay, do they care about light? Okay. The strange thing, says Jav, about nut allergies is how recent it became a thing. So, I have I've wondered that myself. Okay, so we should probably leave. Panel control switch. Do I need to do anything with that, or do we just go? Do we just make a run for the elevator? Yeah, security keycard 3 is... Oh, that's not the door. I see. We need security keycard 2 to get security keycard 3, and then presumably the gun. I misunderstood. I thought that the door was locked by security keycard 3. So, we're going to go forward, and then I want to hang a left from my perspective. I don't really know how to do that, given the fact that this guy's just sort of hanging out. Oh, maybe we could use the thing. Maybe this will, like, slide him out of the way or something. Okay, see, she said the elevator was back, and the elevator disagrees. Oh, wait, elevator moved. How far did it move? Is it just over here in the other direction? I think that you're supposed to use that panel. I don't think I was supposed to switch it back. Oh, but what I was going to ask is, are nut allergies a recent thing, or have nut allergies always been a thing, but then people would, like, just, like, fucking drop dead of anaphylactic shock, and people, like, others just didn't know. They didn't know what killed them. It was just like, oh, that person suddenly died. And, like, I don't know. This is not something that I've like, looked up, done a lot of research on. Okay, here's our elevator. Let's get out of here.
Fuck were those things? Okay, deep breaths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Look, you never really get used to the shit you see in this job, but you can learn techniques to adjust, to function. Take 6 deep breaths. Then get to work. Find the source, collapse the threshold.
Sir, please hold. Please hold.
Where am I?
Hold. Please hold.
Like, I'll hold if the elevator wants to give me some more information.
What is that?
See, I would stop... Well, I would have stopped back there, but...
If you can understand me, I'm an agent of the Federal Bureau of Control. I can assist you if you take no hostile action against me or any action that can be perceived as hostile. Do you understand? Well, I'll be damned.
Jab is saying the symptoms for nut allergies are pretty obvious and pretty easy to test.
So what kind of entity are you? You can speak. That means you probably imprinted on a person or retained some of your former self's information. Previously human, maybe? Okay, I can work with that. I just had an unpleasant encounter with some other painted individuals. Any relation?
1,000 painting shoes corrode.
What does that mean?
Paint no brush, a self-portrait.
Okay, hey, calm down.
Fire in his eyes and hands and bones.
You need to cease all hostility right now. Bad news. That thing is really pissed off. Good news. It didn't try to kill me. Baby steps.
But like 98% of this game, you don't, like, at least I don't need the subtitles on, but I would have gotten none of that without the subtitles.
Angry living paintings are not typically on the Cauldron Lake bingo card. Something different was happening at the lake house, and I couldn't let it escape. Bright Falls didn't need this particular cherry on its already shitty sundae.
Sublevel 3.
Refinement process, ATD output. I feel like I don't know what that is. Oh, the automatic typing device will produce writing mimicking that of Alan Wake, known pair to utilitarian, with the goal of affecting reality with the same consistency as Mr. Wake's writing. To reach this level of authenticity, each page produced by the ATD must be evaluated and graded based on its similarity to Wake's original style. You can tell this was maybe produced before just AI could churn out random crap and pretend it was writing. The pages will be graded using the following criteria. Comprehensibility. This is the most basic of criteria. The page must use language and develop stories in an understandable, organic way. Style. The page must accurately mimic this typical style of Wake's writing, using pages in the lake house's possession as a reference. Tone. The page must accurately mimic the typical tone of Wake's writing, using pages in the lake house possession as reference. Content. The page must accurately mimic the typical content of Wake's writing, using the pages and blah blah. Once pages are graded, they'll be fed into the algorithm as preferred reference material, thus continuously refining the writing produced by the ATDs until they can produce near identical stories to Alan Wake. Oh, so they were basically building an AI. Once that is achieved, we will provide instructions to the ATDs on what to write, effectively gaining control of Wake's ability to link with the Shadow's power. Also, Grumpy is saying that his doctor sent a prescription for 1 ibuprofen and 2 Tylenol pills. Why? Crow was looking for something else, but I listen to doctors for a living. Wait, I definitely didn't get it. No, I definitely didn't get it. Apparently that was a joke. Oh, that Crow doesn't... Wow, Crow wouldn't have needed the subtitles? Yeah, I had none of that.
Rudolph Lane stood back from the canvas. He didn't recognize the piece. Did he paint this? His mind was foggy, unfocused. He knew the Marmots were putting something in his food. A man in a white coat came to steer Lane back to his cell. He did not resist. He was too tired. He lay on the bed, but the stench in his cell wouldn't let him sleep. An acid stink. The turpentine. The paint. It was all over him. Years of it. 1,000 paintings. 1,000 more to come. A putrid weight he could never wash away. Cold hate simmered below the mist, clogging his thoughts. Hatred for the paint. Hatred for the brushes. For the Marmots. For himself.
Okay, I bet you that's this entire page. Yeah. Alright, I just didn't want to do anything that would cut off the dialogue. Words per sentence, max 12, minimum 1. Is co-heads 1 word or 2? Oh, this is grading the page. Dialogue, clipped phrasing, third person omniscient, broad timeline, story concepts. Got it. And then we've got another one.
Diana and Jules Marmont had once been a team. Rising stars in the Bureau, both talented in their own way. Diana innovated and Jules got funding from the bureaucrats. Cooperation led to respect. Connection. Then after a decade of hard work, the happy couple were promoted. Co-heads of research. Their first years at the lake house were good. Challenging, but not insurmountable. Not for them. Gradually, thoughts fell into their heads like drops of dark water. Why does she get all the credit? Why does he get any credit? With that, a crack formed in the lake house. The Marmonts and their work became arrogant, erratic. The crack widened and the water seeped in.
Words per sentence, character-centric lane. Past tense, clip phrasing, higher adjective usage, focus, timeline. Rudolph Lane. Wait, was Lane? I don't see Lane in here. Marmon's hate conflict. Okay, well, we found a flare or two.
September 12, 2023. Notes regarding a page of an Alan Wake manuscript I found in the archives. I checked the records, and this page is not in our inventory. I believe it manifested inside the lake house directly. I won't be filing this page. It'll just send Jules into a panic. The page is written in Wake's usual style, so I can't say for certain if it's being literal or figurative when it calls us monsters. But what's interesting is that the page indicates that our painting succeeded in linking Cauldron Lake's threshold with our facility. Writing has always been a clearly superior avenue of research, but I never considered that the writing itself would dictate a different art form as the catalyst for our success. I cannot accept that. I can't allow Jules to stumble his way into success. Not after the years of work I put into this research. I got word yesterday that 2 writers are visiting Bright Falls. I will beat Jules to the finish line.
It is never not surprising to me when the subtitles are off from the spoken word, because changing the subtitles would take like a couple keystrokes. Organizational update. Moving forward, research at the lake house will be divided into 2 distinct projects. Big-ass name, codename Arbutus, will focus on studying the writing of Blank, with Dr. Diana Marmont serving as project director. Codename Romnus will focus on studying Redacted and his work, with Dr. Jules Marmont serving as project director. Staff will soon be notified regarding their project assignment and any required desk changes. Your patience is requested during this reorganization. This is a confidential facility matter and not to be discussed with external agents or teams. If you have any questions, contact me directly. Harry Kingston. Oh, darn it. While that was playing, I was thinking of something that I was going to say. So this is Dr. Marmont's office, then. Oh, wait, maybe it's not. Is there a sign on the door? ATD output. Okay, so no, this is just some random person's office. Here's the chief technician. Refinement process. Actually, we read all of that. Sorry, been through this room already. All right, so we did these 2 rooms. Hello to Czar! Czar, I hope your Monday's going okay. Oh, can we hear from Dr. Darling? Project Arbutus.
There was a crack in the lake house.
Hold on.
The Marmonts had let the lake in, but the water could not flow. It became trapped, stagnant, went bad.
The music is a little overbearing in this particular section. It's never been an issue before, but maybe now we'll just take it down some. How about right there?
The truth was controlled here. The art was
Just out of curiosity, because I did absolutely nothing. Let's just see. Does it actually affect?
There was a crack in the lake house.
I think this is now...
The Marmonts had let the lake in.
All right.
But the water could not flow. It became trapped, stagnant, went bad. The truth was controlled here. The art was not art, just content for the experiment.
I'm not sure I want to be fighting with her voice on this. Initial reports for Edward Franklin Booker, married to Tamitha Booker, etc.
The Marmonts had let the lake in, but the water could not flow. It became trapped, stagnant, went bad. The truth was controlled here. The art was not art, just content for the experiment.
All right, there's an art document there assessing a couple people for their artistic measure.
Typewriters. Please don't let this be what I think it is. As you know by now, typewriters and Cauldron Lake do not mix. And a room full of them all clacking away? 100% bad news.
They managed to eliminate the 1,000 monkeys part. No, that's security level 2. Well, anyway, yeah, I forget the percentage, but we talked a little bit about during Star Trucker the other day. Allegedly, it's not like, oh, we're raising wages like an average of X%. No, it's like everybody that works at From Software is getting like a raise of like, it's like 12 or 18%. I just don't remember how much it is, but it is specifically because like they've put so much effort into making games that have been very successful commercially, critically, and profitability for the company, profit-wise. Investigation into the precise brand and model of typewriters used by Alan Wake with the intent to use this particular brand for Redacted and the ATDs continues to be unsuccessful. Sources contacted include Wake's publishing house, Wake's agent, who refused to discuss client matters, Wake's spouse, Redacted, so that's a third person that Alan Wake knows, checked all available online interviews, publications, and elements pertaining to Alan Wake. No useful information. The relevant team will continue to explore alternative sources of information. The ATDs will continue to be operated with the available typewriters until Wake's preferred brand is known. Theoretically, replicating Alan Wake's style of writing via the same brand of typewriter used by the author should yield optimal results. The project director has indicated that a similar investigation should be launched into the brand and type of ink used in Wake's typewriter. It's amazing that they have one division, like on another floor, that's all about talking about the emotion that's tied up in the work, while the people on this floor are dedicated to generating the work with no emotion at all. Just a robot pounding out random prose that they then grade on whether or not it seems similar to what Alan Wake might write. That said, if you're going to be investigating things that don't make like logical sense, yeah, it's also locked for me. I mean, let's still double check, but it should be locked. What I was going to say is, that being said, if you're interacting with something that doesn't make logical sense...
This keycard won't get me in.
Why not try it from completely different vectors? One that's just mimicking the writing, and one that's trying to replicate the emotion that's in the work. Wait, I've missed something. I just want to look back. Crow and Caroluna were chatting about... Oh, it was the topic was about like why doctors like write so illegibly, and it's like, why use an entire word? And especially if it's like the name of a drug, where it might take a minute and a half to actually write out. If a few letters and like an etch will do the same thing. Asper B understands shortening words, but can't even tell what letter it's supposed to be sometimes. Carolina kind of listens to weird things for a living too. Yeah, in order to find out what they actually need. And that's where Crow was like connecting about like what. There's a lot of that in IT for sure. The thing that tends to get me is when people come to you with the solution rather than describing what the problem is. Yeah, that solution might be correct, but if you work in IT for longer than 24 hours, you're going to discover that a lot of people come up with...
Shit. I can never say no to extra firepower.
Well, true, but, I mean, bullets haven't helped us so far. Alright. I was mostly just battling against the... Oops. Trying to hear that dialogue. I do generally have music up around there. I want to sort of hear it as intended, but...
Back where I started. Spatial recurrence. Usually observes the law of 3.
This contrived overlap bounded on itself. Compressing, compounding, reflecting, and refracting. An urban legend and a murder in constant imbalance. Cause and effect hopelessly tangled. Arranged wrong, the dream logic flawed, the feedback loop doubled and redoubled, out of control. The pressure kept building, looking for release.
I just want to see if there's anything different in the rooms. If that recording is different, then some of this might be different too. No. Not unless we scroll down. And maybe something's different there. But yeah, if you were to... Well, no one is going to ask me, so I'm just going to say it. I think that when a product is very successful, the people that made it should enjoy the lion's share of that success. Yes, it's nice if, like, the people that make the high-level decisions, they also should be compensated. But why more? Why differently than the, like, people, the creatives that actually made it? That's just me thinking aloud. Like, I don't get to run a game studio. You know, no one's going to listen to what I have to say. It just seems like... It seems like the best way to retain talent is to pay that talent to continue doing good work for you.
Is controlled.
Also, since it came up...
The shadow is here. Good thing I brought a flashlight.
Okay, well, wait, where am I trying to get to? Actually, we're trying to get one... Oh! Right, it doesn't pause. Sorry, that was very stupid. I know it doesn't pause. Reload. There's somebody with the knives. Ow. Ow! Fuck, hold on. I hear them throw, I go to dodge. It is frequently not the correct thing to have done. But, like, the timing is way off. knifo has to go. Well, this seems bad. Okay. Jump! Well,
some staff down there had been corrupted. Shit just kept getting worse.
that didn't go super well. Today was Czar's first day at his new job. Almost exclusively did paperwork all day. Czar, where I work, that is also the way that the first day goes, followed mostly by the first week. Okay, hold the hell on, because there's all sorts of containers that I didn't get. Okay, I'm gonna reload my flashlight, because now we've got batteries. We'll go forward a couple more rows, and then there's another container over here. But Czar, I hope that once you get into it, the new job works out very well. I'm standing on top of it. Hold on. There we go. Also, I don't know if we still have Crow. I'm always curious and always want to be very careful about asking, just because not everybody, you know, it's not always great news for people, and sometimes people just want to relax. Wait, can I not go back? But I am curious how Crow's work job is going. Okay, we can't go back, which utterly sucks. Yeah, maybe we'll do like another loop around, and then we can get whatever those were. I'm just concerned that the loops are not identical. Crow is saying, hopefully it's yesh, like things are kind of okay, but it might also be yeesh, like, oof, not great news right now. Do not contaminate the lake house with unrelated art, like Rubik's Cubes. Figurines, ornaments, decorations, and other trinkets are forbidden, and then it's all covered up with mud or paint. Okay, let's not go through that door until we have a chance to rest and rearm. Oh, and save.
Loop 3. Should be the last one.
I keep coming back to this page. The author's clearly awake. It's like he's warning us. But about what? I mean, what does it mean? This page scared Jules away from the work on Wake's writing. A coward can't stand risk. But science is risk. For me, this is proof that we are going in the right direction. I just need Rudolph Lane's paintings to lead to more pages that hopefully one day we can understand.
Okay, that'll probably run over again. As we continue, just very quickly, because Grumpy had mentioned his upcoming surgery, that was one of the things that I wanted to ask. I don't know when that surgery is coming, but if Grumpy's filling prescriptions for the pills that he's supposed to take on the day, it sounds like it's coming up very soon. Grumpy, I hope that you and Moo will just keep us apprised. Just let us know that everything goes okay. Best wishes. I hope it goes very well. Grumpy has shared the details of that. I don't know that I want to make a habit of repeating because it is his personal information, but I hope that things go very smoothly. And now that extends to Crow as well, who says about a week ago, work finally picked up again after 4 months of scraping by. It's nowhere near where it needs to be, but I'll take what I can get. Before we continue with this just jaunty, hummable tune that we have running in the background, Crow, we have over the years met people who came in and at one point or another hit on some very, very concerning times, and more often than not, they made it through and they got onto something better and brighter. I've mentioned Papalotko, who did the emote artwork on the stream here. Papalotko used to stream, didn't have a lot of outlets for her artwork. Then after a while, kept plugging away, kept working on it, got through some really hard times, and as far as I'm aware, came out the other side and got into a job that she finds very fulfilling. And my understanding is that that's one of the reasons that she doesn't stream anymore at this point. So stay strong, keep with it. We'll continue to have best wishes, and anytime that we can give you a respite from any sort of work stress, I'd love to do that. Hello to Pirate Percy's also, and Pirate, same goes for you in work. Sorry, school. Because I know that you've been really buried with it. By the way, I did see the other day that you said that your next artwork might be Mr. Scratch related. I hope that similar to the last stuff, you will post it up. That Alan Wake piece that you did, I thought was great. We're checking the walls for things that we can use. Also, I should just straight up have this right now. Okay, let me check the map. Yeah, there's one more thing somehow. Okay, map, I don't see the thing that you are referencing. I'm just acknowledging that this is a cabinet which does not open. I just don't want people to be like... Sometimes you're watching a stream like, are they completely blind? Like, no, I can see this large, bright purple thing. No, it doesn't open, so we're gonna move away from it for now. And the other thing is... Yeah, apparently there's a whole pack of containers here next to the projector.
I keep coming back to this page. The author's clearly awake. It's like he's warning us. But about what? What does it mean?
I mean, if you say so, game, I don't...
This page is scary.
I don't feel as bad about having missed them previously, because...
A coward can't stand risk. Science is risk. For me, this is proof that we are going in the right direction. I just need...
Art is for analysis, not for admiration. Alright, well here's one of them at least. Yes, healing. We need it. Also, oops. I would like to very quickly reappropriate where some of these go. We're going to put this onto that. We're going to put this onto this. I would like to have this at close at hand also. And... Oh, actually, that's it. So, yeah, that's what we've got. I just need to... You guys, I rarely remember to use the flashbang grenades. We really need to do that. Pirate Percy says that they'll definitely be putting it up once it's ready. Once they get around to it. Okay, was...
About what? I mean, what does it mean?
I really feel concerned that...
This page is scared.
Yeah, you guys, there's no more containers. At least not in this room. Maybe on a different floor. This doesn't seem like it's a real way.
What is that?
this also doesn't seem to be a way, so I think we just go straight. Before we go, I am... Oh, I'm like borderline nowhere. Well, but hold on. There was a container in the middle of this room. Middle might be a little difficult to determine right now. Okay. It's much further in. Okay, and... Well, while we're going, Crow, and possibly others, I know that Crow really enjoyed Deliver Us the Moon and Deliver Us Mars. We're both, I think, very much looking forward to the next game in that series. The next Life is Strange game is coming out, I mean, maybe today, like really, really soon. And I don't mean like the early access version. I'm curious if Crow has any interest in that, because it's another, as a franchise, sort of a very narrative-heavy game. And Cozy Plays recently started replaying the very first game. But you guys, it's not just me, right? Like, I don't see a container here. Apparently, I'm tripping over it right now. It's not on the ceiling. Yeah, I feel like we just keep going. Maybe this area is just too surreal. Crow did play Life is Strange. Wasn't her thing. Did enjoy it, but didn't really feel any huge connection to it. Okay, should I, like, stop here and look at this vision? Yeah, I'm afraid I'm not getting too much out of that yet. And this is, what's your deal? No power. If I had access to another power core, we could do something about that.
Ugh, locked. Maybe there's another way in. Sorry. Go. Oh, this is perfect. Except that it's already plugged in, so why doesn't it work? Maybe that was the charging station. Most narrative games I enjoy quite a great deal. There's one that I played. It was another like it was going to be a 5-episode release, but I didn't realize that when we started streaming it. I thought it was only 3 episodes. So color me surprised when partway through we were recording episode 2, and then they released episode 4. I was like, uh-oh. So then we played episode 4 like when it came out, and episode 5 was going to be in like let's say 2-3 weeks maybe. I don't really remember at this point. And by that time, like it's just, once I get out of a game, once I don't play it for like a few weeks, it's just very difficult to go back to. And we never, to this day, still have not gone back to do episode 5 of that specific game. It was called The Council. And that's not anything against The Council. It's just,
That's why I usually don't play episodic games until they are well and truly complete. So, now we should have lots of power.
Controllable shifting phenomena.
Okay, Kieran, so aside from shutting off the lights, that seems to imply that something has changed in the environment, but aside from me turning off the lights, I may not have picked up on what it was. Right, we already got that. Like, I'm not yet certain why I wouldn't want to just turn the lights back on, but let's look out here. This is still off, so maybe we throw the switch inside and then outside. Also, this seems like the reason that the power is cut more than the switch. Oh, this is what changed. You can't go over there when the lights are on. Okay, well, I mean, right now I don't want to. And now we've created this. Oh, we get to talk to our painting friend again.
You again. Alan Wake's writing is being studied here. Do you know anything about him?
Names don't matter. 1,000 more to come.
They say clear communication is the key to any relationship. You and I have some work to do there. What happened to you? Did the people here do this to you?
Marmonts clogging his head.
You said Marmonts before. Do they do this? Where are they now?
Misery, hate.
Tell me where they are.
A man in a white coat.
Christ. It's fixated on the Marmonts. What did they do?
Well, hold on. I don't have anything new. I don't exist on this map right now. So we do have some notes in here. Experiment in progress, probably downstairs. Need to get to the sub-levels. Right, I need a level 2 keycard. What are they researching? Paint and paintings, para-utilitarian, forced paint. Connected to hostile painted entities. Led by D. Marmont, Wake manuscript pages. Alan Wake involved. Emulating Wake's writing, fabricating Wake pages. I'm looking on the map right now to determine if I have any clues about where to find the level 2 keycard. I'm assuming I can't just skip straight to level 3, but I've got a locked level 2 door here, a locked level 2 door here. Am I... Let me badge this. Hello to Azaric! Azaric, see, I feel like I can't get here yet.
Access denied.
This keycard isn't gonna cut it.
Right. Can I get out? Or it's inviting me to go somewhere. Alright, so let's go... Let me go back up to the ground floor for now.
No access back to the lobby. Great.
Okay, well the last time we talked... The last time we talked to the painting, we were on floor 2.
Is the connection between a foreign reality and our own. Now, they all have their own rules, strange as they are, but the further down I went, the more chaotic this one got. Clearly, this was the Cauldron Lake threshold, but something was wrong. Well, more wrong than usual.
Sublevel 2. Level-wide lockdown in effect. Please remain calm. Level-wide lockdown in effect. Please remain calm.
Lift the level-wide lockdown. Okay, this is way more elaborate than the last time we visited level -2. Okay, we cannot open the stalls as far as I can see. Let me just check the map. Yeah, okay, there's nothing in there. So I don't know if that door opens, I just know that I don't want to open it right now. No, there's nothing over here. Azric, I hope that you also had a nice Monday. I assume that you're still enjoying the only needing to work one job. I would certainly hope so. Okay, what do we got? Initial review, Booker's writing. The first piece of content produced by the subject is severely disappointing. It's not remotely similar in content to the wake pages we provided as a reference. Why is it so focused on my marriage? Why is Jules the protagonist? Why is it set in an actual lakeside cabin? And what is happening at the end? What the hell is in the sky? Wait, is this a description of what happens in the game? Because there was an actual lakeside cabin in the game, but it wasn't really set there. I guess not. Did anyone brief Booker about the concept he has to write about? The lake house, the shadow? We need him to match Wake's style exactly. It's not going to work if he has no clue what he's writing about. We need to get this sorted. We need progress now. And why isn't he taking this seriously? When I spoke to him, he thought I was an actor. We want him to understand how serious we are, whatever it takes. Assignment. Continue the story from page ID AW002, match the stone tile and content of AW02 as close as possible. The crack was an emotional one, a line right through their marriage, the foundation, their lake house. These thoughts and more flooded Jules' mind as he stared out through the lakeside cottage windows. The sun was setting on a stormy day. Rain-heavy clouds hung low, weighed down with the burden of purpose. Diana sat in her favorite deck chair, staring out across the lake's rippling surface. He watched the breeze catch her acorn hair. As if sensing his gaze, she turned her head. Jules looked away, flustered, then annoyed with himself for letting her affect him this way. He grabbed the bottle of red wine, poured himself a generous serving, and he kept pouring, his mind distracted by a thought. How did we get here? They had been at the lab, running an experiment, then they were here. Why? He remembered thinking that a break from the lab would give them space to reconnect, to mend the crack, but he couldn't remember ever leaving. Wine was flowing over the rim of his cup, though he didn't even notice. He put down the bottle, scanning the lake. A faint shimmer hung in the air from the far side of the lake, like light hitting glass. The sort of thing you only noticed if you were looking for it. He felt like he'd seen it something like this before, but where? Jules! Dinah's cry snapped Jules back into the present. She was staring up at the sky in panic. A deep shadow crept across the deck. Jules ran to the door to his wife. For a second, I misread that he ran into the house away from his wife. Because that's what I would imagine Jules would do. Well, let's give it a shot. Holy shit. Oh, holy shit. We can have weekly gossip calls, promise, from Watterson to O'Crag. O'Crag says to Watterson he really did that. Diana's gonna slit his throat if she finds out, haha. Those two are such a hot mess. I got drinks with Perry last night and he told me Jules is withholding wake pages from Diana's team. He told her they went missing. Crazy shit. Paula mentioned you two were thinking about asking for a transfer. You'd really leave me here all alone? Watterson to Craig, Jules just sent out a memo asking us to spy on his wife's project. Remember when we just made fun of his stupid project names in science factoids? Simpler times. Missing Blackrock, Pi Day, sensitivity reminder, and security reminder. We've read all those. Acquisition team is hereby approved to acquire additional research subjects for ongoing study related to Project Arbutus at the Lake House facility. Both subjects brought to the Lake House for study. Tamitha Booker, her work is more commercially successful, thus more likely to yield results based on proven cases. Edward Booker, we've been reading about these two. Less successful than Tamitha, but theater is more widely recognized as art than true crime novels. Observe the suspects at a distance and only move to acquire if the opportunity arises. Under no circumstances can this operation draw the attention of local law enforcement. Signed, Dr. Diana Marmon. It has been a hot minute. Were the Bookers the people that Saga interviewed in the diner way back at the beginning? I just don't remember their names. But the true crime thing suddenly jogged my memory. Subject writing must feature Darkness, Water, Marmont, the Lake House, and Conflict. Did anyone explain any of this to him? I'm also just I'm very slow on the uptake. If they were writing a lot of stories or trying to generate fiction about Jules and Diana being in conflict all the time, suddenly the conflict that they were experiencing here at the Lake House makes a lot of sense. The question that I have is why... I know that they were trying to produce work with emotion. Why that emotion? Why the two heads of this facility come to metaphorical blows over everything? That doesn't appear to have been a side effect of lousy writing. That appears to have been the actual express purpose of what they were trying to generate. Okay, there is something down here, reportedly. Oh, is it here? No, that was an unrelated thing that I'm glad to have found. I assume this box has other levels, because otherwise, if I picked this up from the box factory, I would really feel very upset about the amount of box that I got for my money.
Shaded. Hope that glass is thick. Won't open while the floor's on lockdown.
Right. We're still gonna click it. Oh, right. I remember something else that I was gonna say. Yeah, so Veilguard is coming out. It comes out, what is today? The 28th of 2024. So it comes out the day after tomorrow. It comes out right on Halloween. Now, I'll say this, we're not going to be playing it right away. It could be the best game in the world. We're fully booked. It's going to be a while. Plus, any large game like that is always going to benefit from having a bunch of patching, so I am very content to wait. That said, the fact that there's so far some divisions in how people feel about it, that's... I mean, I can't remember ever talking about this, but we talked a little bit about how every Dragon Age game is completely different than every other Dragon Age game, except that they're broadly united by their setting. And you generally get to be some sort of warrior or a rogue or a mage. And that's sort of Dragon Age. Outside of that, the actual mechanics of how they play, the the camera perspective, the scope and the decisions that we'll be making, this has all been wildly different in every single Dragon Age game. So the idea that a new Dragon Age would come out and fans of one or more of the previous games would be looking at the new one being like, oh, I don't like this, or this is the best one of all time, that strikes me as being a strength. I don't know. There was a lot of room. I loved Inquisition. I really, really enjoyed Inquisition. I enjoyed Inquisition so much that I never played the Trespasser DLC. And no, that's not... There's no sequitur there. That is... I don't play DLCs if they're not available at the time I finish the game. I just, never return for them. But I really did legitimately enjoy the base game a tremendous amount. That said, I also recognize a lot of ways in which it could have been improved, and at least on one of the spoiler-free reviews, they talk. One of the things that I found very heartening is that they said that the side content in Veilguard is much more story focused and yields a lot more of sort of like decision points for you that help to like fill out your character's personality and your connection to the world. That seems awesome. Like, if that is the case, if that's the same experience that I have with it, I would expect my overall opinion of it to be pretty high. Oh, level 2 keycard, thank God. I mean, I'm sorry for your loss.
Access card.
But it's my game.
Sorry, but I need this.
This one doesn't have a handy sticky, so we're gonna look around a little bit.
How many paintings did they have this guy make?
From painting session on Redacted, designation black circular shape among yellow lines, an uneven circle painted in a dark background in the a dark black in the foreground with jagged yellow-brown mustard lines behind it. Lines sometimes overlap with each other and or bleed into the black circle. Designation lone tree at night, a dark green tree, like a pine, standing in a dark landscape, presumably night. Wow, what a genius. He definitely predicted the fact that trees are there when it gets dark. I can see why they were really, like siphoned onto this guy. Empty road in a forest, a dark gray streak across a dark green landscape, presumably a forest at night. The gray streak is likely to be a road due to its location, color, and the way its width reduces in line with the perspective. Note, a small white shape in the road could be a page of writing by Alan Wake. Relevant teams have been informed and are searching for this site now to attempt page retrieval. Designation yellow crescent shape on black canvas, a curved yellow shape in a roughly crescent shape painted onto an otherwise empty canvas, possibly a crescent moon or banana or unfinished piece. I love the fact that somebody's like sitting there methodically trying to describe what this art looks like as opposed to just, you know, maybe taking a picture of it. It just reminds me of people who would do like a novelization of Cats. Red, yellow, and green circle, 3 uneven circles, 1 red, 1 yellow, and 1 green, roughly arranged in a vertical line. Background is black-gray with dark red streaks along the border of the canvas, possibly a traffic light. That's what I was thinking, and Jesse Faden got into a fight with a traffic light during Control. Cityscape of a with a blue-gray sky, gray vertical shapes like the skyline of a city. In the bottom third of the canvas with a vivid blue-gray sky, geometric shapes painted in thin white lines can barely be made out among the color of the skies. Designation black void, a deep black void covering the entire canvas with a few small specks of dark or light gray able to be seen on close inspection. I could absolutely fail at painting that. A large number of rough spirals painted in black, ranging from the size of that of a quarter to that of a basketball. Though the canvas appears quite covered, it is blank aside from the spirals. And then we have brown shape with horns. My magnum opus. A brown shape, vaguely triangular, with what are presumably horns extending from the shape, likely an animal head, possibly a deer or elk, black background. Carol Luna is taking off. Carol Luna, have a great night. Were any of these 6 digits? No. And more, no. Okay. It's just we have a code here that we're trying to crack. Maxine says it's also getting late. Maxine, if you are headed to bed, I hope you have a great evening as well. We're gonna have to find out what that awful noise is. I will pre-announce this. I don't think this will be a surprise. I played Dragon Age Origins as a twin dagger wielding rogue. And for what I played of Dragon Age 2, which was the one that I personally disliked very much, I played a dual wielding rogue. And in Inquisition, yeah, you guessed it. So I'll give you a hint as to what my preferred character class and play style would likely be in the Veilguard. There's certain franchises that I come to associate very heavily with like this character, like this play style, and that's gonna be the way that Veilguard goes. Unless it's like just not a fun character class, like if I just absolutely don't care for like these specific mechanics. But again, Dragon Age is like 2 for 3 with me on that specific character class. So it is also, by the way, the only franchise in which I've played a dual knife-wielding rogue. Never in Baldur's Gate, never in Pillars of Eternity. Like, in Baldur's Gate I haven't played 3 yet, but I played a wizard. And in Pillars of Eternity I played a monk. And in, oh gosh, what's it called? Original Sin 2, I played a cleric. And, like, if there was to be another Original Sin game, I'd probably, like, play my main character as a cleric again. Like, I liked those mechanics. They were fun. So, sorry, there was another container here, according to the map. Back here? Yes, back here. All right, so we've got this computer. We can try 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just for old time's sake.
Damn it.
Right. So yeah, we would need a 6-digit code, and like we can see if there's any like post-its that are on the floor. Any numbers on her, because for all I know, this is her computer. No. I don't think I have the information that I need to open this. I'm looking at the sheets of paper. Well, hold on. Are there... No. I was about to say, are there 6 digits in total on one of these, but... Well... It could be 169170. Let's try that.
Nope.
And then on the other sheet, we got a 2-4, a 1-7-1, a 4-4, and a 4-5, and a 2-5. Yeah, I mean, short of like just trying every conceivable variation of all of those, that would take a very long time. Kaz says it's one of the reasons that I love playing Dragon Age dual-wielding rogues. Yeah, and in Inquisition, you could like teleport behind guys and do like a sick backstab and stuff. But yeah, I like... When I say that I like experimenting with different character classes, what I mean is that in completely different games, I like switching to a character class that I haven't played yet in another game. And in my head, I'll sometimes think, oh man, this will be super fun to replay as like a different character class to get like to do those mechanics next time. But it's just like replaying games, man. Like when do you have the time? There's so many other great games. I mean, oh, hold on. Today's password. Wait, hold on. I maintain that seeing a movie together does not begin a relationship. Today's password is the date of our special unforgettable anniversary plus brown shape with horns. Wait, hold on. That's our code. I just need something to write with. Okay, nuts to all of this. These pages are full. Yeah, all of these pages are completely full. I've taken too many Alan Wake notes. So, special unforgettable anniversary. So I'm just going to write down anniversary. Plus brown horns. Brown shape with horns, I know, but I'm saving myself some lettering. I'm like a doctor now. 44 is right, yeah. So I guess you're telling me you don't know when our anniversary is. Well, good luck with that. So wait, 44 is part of it. The Marms are losing it. Big surprise. I bet Diana set Jules' background to a big old turd or something. Once again, making their shitty marriage everyone else's problem. The password you sent didn't work. Black Void is 44 right from the list of Lane's paintings. Wait, hold on. We've got to put this together first. Can you believe this new password policy? What security concerns are they even talking about? We're a fenced-off government bunker in the middle of nowhere. I think they're getting paranoid. Anyway, I set the security terminal's new password like the memo suggested. Our anniversary is the base numbers, then Black Void. But the most recent one is anniversary numbers plus brown shape. So we're going to circle back to that. She has some valid concerns. The man is a tyrant. Speak up about the safety is no reason to fire up somebody. I knew it. She was way too vocal in last week's all-hands meeting. I just found out what happened to Trisha. Jules fucking fired her. But now I don't know what the super secret anniversary is. So we need to find Greenberg and Watson. Are these the only people that we're texting back and forth? Yeah. Okay, so... Greenberg plus Watson. So we've got to find out their super secret anniversary. Or Watterson, whatever. I made that reservation for our anniversary, which I certainly never forgot, as it was a week from this Friday. I'm going to have to look up a 2023 calendar. Let's take separate cars from the office. Can't have the bosses see us leaving together now that those hypocrites have banned inter-office relationships. Have a good day. Hello to Samalander. When do I have time to replay games when the Factorio DLC drops? Wait, hold on. Can I get to a calendar on my phone? Because I really don't want to alt-tab out. This game has gotten weird in the past. Okay, here's calendar. So I need to go back to... Wait, what day is it? September 2023. Okay, so September 2023, on the 14th, a week after this Friday, would have been the 22nd. So hold on. 9/22, right? Yeah, I'm just double checking. Okay, so 09/22 and then brown shape with horns. And then let's search the rest of this room. You guys, I'm playing a video game that I had to look up a calendar page from a previous year. It did say 1 week from this Friday, like after this Friday. A week was a week from this Friday. So that's in the future. Shit, unless Finns don't use their... Oh, you guys! I didn't have to look it up, it was right here. But yeah, now you can see. So, the 14th, and then it would be the 15th, and what did I write down? The 22nd. Yeah, so there was a calendar right there. I really got very resourceful on the game there. So now we just need to know brown shape with horns, which is going to be easy because I made a comment on it. It should be over here. So probably 25. So 09/22/25. Let's try that.
There.
Deactivate lockdown. Let's do that in a second.
More situations like this are gonna fall through the cracks.
Yeah, I have a feeling that deactivating the lockdown is going to turn this into like a wild scrum for the door. Mr. Kingston, I thought we reported to the acting management team in Kansas. I have reached out to them about this issue multiple times and gotten no response. Even if they did respond, we all know they don't have the staff to investigate every internal issue after the oldest house went into lockdown. I believe the Marmonts are knowingly using the state of chaos to their advantage. Our treatment of research subjects is in clear violation of the ASH Act. These are punishable offenses. If you do not open internal investigation, then I will resign. Trisha Howard, senior researcher. Hello, Ms. Howard. Thank you for sharing your opinion. All facility operations and safety measures are under the purview of the heads of research. If you have a complaint, please file it directly to them or contact the Bureau's acting management team in Dallas.
I'm glad someone here stood up to him.
I'm writing because I have serious concerns about safety protocols being disregarded across the facility. That's fine. What could possibly go wrong? I've collected a list of violations that I've personally observed. I can send this to you. My opinion on the matter is that both Drs. Marmon are driving this facility's staff into progressively more reckless behavior. Good day. And then we have these. All right, let's deactivate lockdown.
You are now safe to resume working.
Casabella is saying September is a great month. I certainly like it.
Facility. Sub-level 1. You copy?
No. Turn back. Area is extremely hostile.
Fucking radios. They're on floor 1. I'll need help.
Maxine is asking, what is the 14th month? Smarch. Okay, hold on. Is there anything... Like, what if we just fucking go? Well, now I want that container. Like, what if we don't worry about killing every single guy, which is probably going to cost a lot more resources than we'll gain? We just leave. Like, we Resident Evil this. Okay, wait, is there anything else I want on the way out? Well, there could be some cool stuff in the interview room. Or in these rooms, now that I think about it.
Something in the well!
There's not really a good peek button.
Must.
I don't think that Kieran here has like a sneaky backstab. No! I tried to throw it through the door. It landed at my own feet. Whoops. As you might have guessed, I thought I still had a grenade up. Throw! No, I didn't. Fuck. Well, I guess I've made up for not using my grenades very often by using them too often. Uh-oh. Okay, that's fine. Okay, that's all our shotgun shells. Maxine is taking off. Maxine, thank you very much for hanging out. Have a great evening. Okay, what did we win? So far, a bunch of blank canvases, some warnings about the state of the emergency. A box full of shotgun ammo would be very welcome. Well, so when I was playing Control, the way that it all went down and like Jessie picked up the sidearm and became like the director, and then everybody acknowledged her as being the director, I thought that the act of taking the sidearm like fundamentally altered reality so that everybody knew who she was. Maybe that's only inside the darkest, the oldest house, because the people here definitely don't know it.
I had a thought today, a possible avenue for further research. When we think of art successfully affecting reality, we always think of Alan Wake and his writing. This could be due to recency bias or simply the amount of recorded evidence skewing our opinion. But also, I wonder if writing's very nature is an advantage. Text can describe events in such explicit detail. If the story gives the shadow a blueprint, a map of what to make real. But not all art is like this. Music, sculpture, dance, cuisine. In our case, a painting. When the source material is open to interpretation, how will the shadow choose to interpret it? I think Diana will find the question very interesting. Most likely, she already has an answer. That's why I love her.
Wait, was that Jules? It's just because that could have been at an earlier point in their relationship where whatever's happened didn't make him into such an awful person. Okay, anything else in this room? So many things in this room. All right, let's check the room across the hall. Yeah, aside from just completely botching, well, 2 grenades, because one of them I threw at my own feet. Oh, this will take a minute. ATD progress review. Too much overlap between tone and style. Merge. Okay, I'm not going to read this, but I think we all get the... we all get the idea. Word choice good, but incomprehensible. Dark! Dark! Screamed the darkness. A dark reminder of the dark's inner darkness. A well of darkness, a vortex like black paint. Darker and darker and darker. So dark, the darkness could hardly see. A dark figure emerged from the darkness, facing the darkness with dark intent. A dark knife glinted in the dark, darkly. Dark like the dark eye of a dark raven. Dark feathers rustling in the dark night sky. No moon. The moon had been eaten by the dark. The dark drank it, and the sun. A dark moon rose over the dark sun that had set into the darkest darkness. The darkness darkened darkly, darkening the dark until it dimly darked even the darkest dark. And that was the day the word dark lost all meaning. Repetition issue was solved with sufficient rounds of refinement. Refinement plus time equals progress. So say we all. The rot snail beamed, a wooded grain bent from the owl. Eggmail. 4 forms in the glass, eye, and melt. A cracked page booked to the down in bark. I grow and longer with the lower dark sea. No one found. Eggmail heaven. Pour during out, he chin, when all scream in blue and an axe vermilion. A day is around, flat across evening. The dark murmurs in lightbulb trees. Round the cat! The night glares in all streets. The coffee deers run. Fear drinks locks by windy cottages and black fires in the same mirrors. A mist heavies in Panic Mountain. F's across the board. That was a solid 6 months, maybe 7 months. I'm not great at this, but about 7 months after they were really making a lot of progress. Negative progress. The dark woods rattled darkly. Flashlight peered into the deep darkness, and the dark shivered. Flashlight scowled. A woodsman came with an axe. The woodsman's teeth screamed. Flashlight screamed too and was cut in half. Blood mixed with the darkness, a dark blend. Pistol looked at Flashlight in shock. There was nowhere to run, he realized, but he ran anyway. He ran into the deep dark of the woods. The woodsman rattled behind them, bouncing through the trees. Pistol knew it had nowhere to run. Pistol drew his pistol and turned to face death. The woodsman emerged and Pistol opened fire. Pistol's pistol flashed in the dark night. Once, twice, thrice. The woodsman fell with a clatter. Pistol breathed, in and out, in and out. Pistol looked at each tree, in and out. He was safe. Pistol grabbed the woodsman's axe and plunged it into his pistol to recharge it. He went to check on Flashlight. Pistol checked each half of Flashlight. She was dead, and he knew it. Pistol screamed at the trees. The trees screamed back. Making progress again. Individual elements are strong, but ATD's lacking awareness and attention is a blocker. Intention is blocker. Need more Wake reference material. So this doesn't actually light up, this one, but I think we can mostly make it out. Input non-Wake reference material, source human subject, use staff as writers, risk data skew. Yeah, you don't want humans writing any of your prose. That's too dangerous. As Casey says, absolute poetry. So when I was in high school, and I think it was in my senior year of high school, I took a creative writing class. And I was in a creative writing class, it was all comers because there wasn't a lot of takers. And so there were some sophomores in there. It was mostly seniors, but there were a couple sophomores, a couple freshmen. And that's what we just read. One of the freshmen wrote a story for the creative writing, like it was like the end of thing. Let's take everything we learned and do some creative writing. And I wrote a story. Was it great? Absolutely not. People read it. I don't know what they thought of it. They were complimentary at the time, but I'm sure that if I saw it today, they were just being polite. And I'm really not being funny or self-effacing. Like, if I had a copy, it would be really bad. The freshman wrote a story, and like we were all like reading our stuff aloud. I could not stop laughing, and I don't feel good about it, but it was like that. It was like that. It was so goddamn funny. It was so funny. It brought me so much joy, and I felt so bad then as it was making me laugh. Like, I really wasn't trying to laugh at him, but it was so funny. Hold on. Vandalized text, 0% effort today, and then more vandalized text. The story was broadly about two people who climbed up a mountain, got into an argument, and then a ghost showed up literally out of nowhere, said and did nothing, and one of them had a phenomenal revelation that they needed to be a better person. And what was funny about it was wasn't just that the story was extremely funny, which it was, but also, like, we had the notes from the teacher. Like, we all got them, like editing and like recommendations, like editing recommendations about spelling errors and tightening up sentences, and this is a run-on, and also like all of that. And reading the story in conjunction with the notes of what was up with it, I absolutely lost it. Like, if you guys have seen the I don't want to die. Why did I not reload my shotgun before this point? No! Kieran, I am begging you to pull the trigger. Pull the trigger! You have 5 bullets. Do the thing. I'm gonna die. Okay, stop. Okay. What I was gonna say is that if you guys ever saw like the Disco Elysium video, it was like that. It was a complete lack of like loss of breathing control. It was so funny. And I will say this, like, if anything, it made like me and that freshman like much closer friends. Like when you're in your senior year, like all of that like cliquishness and like what grade you're stuff in, at least at my high school, that all went away. Like that just wasn't like a concern anymore. So like we wound up hanging out a bunch. Like there was nothing personal about it. Okay, can you stop that? So I don't want the story to be heard as like, I was excessively cruel to this person. It's more just, it was similar to that like darking darkly through the dark and dark. I would have zero remorse at laughing at people really bad writing stories. The thing is, like, like when I paint, like that's fucking embarrassing. Like I'm not good at that stuff, and I wouldn't necessarily feel great if like Jelly Buns came in and was just like laughing hysterically at like the very best stuff that I could do, because like I'm learning as well. But it was the perfect combination of it was so earnest and made absolutely no sense. There was no connective tissue to it at all. Why these two people, like I vividly remember that one of the lines was, one of the things that they got into an argument about was, one of them said, man, all of those people sure are down low. And the other one said, no, you idiot, we're the ones who are up high. And just the nature of the argument that they were having, oh my God, it was, I have actually lamented in years since then that I didn't hold on to a copy of the story, just because I'm curious it would still strike me in the same way. And like just so that you guys know, when I say that like my shit was bad, like my shit would be like so fucking awful, like not in a funny way. Like anything that I wrote back then would be like, oh my God, this is so embarrassing. Like terrible characters, like a total lack of description of anything. Like it was in my opinion much worse, and worse, much longer. I thought that I'd write like this great big thing and like it would be very impressive, and like no. So I'm much more embarrassed about like my stuff, and I really mean it too. So this is the area that we have not been to yet. Hold on. Oh, wait, no! I didn't mean to go in here! Can I get out? I mean, most elevators you can, but on this one, I think we might be a little bit stuck. Hold on. Can we just choose the same floor? It'll let us out. This one, yeah? Okay, yeah, I didn't mean to do that.
My team was on sublevel 1. I knew they were in danger.
In complete honesty, my creative writing teacher earnestly told my entire class, you all suck. Do you want to hear like what I think is a funny story? It wasn't this same class. It was a different one. There was a very well-known local writer. He was in like the newspaper all the time. He was both a creative writer, but also like a columnist. Hold on a second. In 2010, Lane was inadvertently involved in AWE 35 while residing at the Cauldron Lake Lodge, where he lived under the care of Dr. Emil Hartman. See this case for information on his crimes and arrests. Lane was seriously injured during the AWE. He received medical care in Seattle for 2 months, during which time he was questioned and cleared by the FBC staff.
After the Cauldron Lake Lodge was seized and closed by the FBC, Lane moved to Wateree, Washington, where he currently resides. Did we meet Lane? Recent surveillance confirms he has no known personal relationships or affiliation with paranatural groups. As requested, the observation team has confirmed that Lane continues to paint as of the date of this report. This columnist, who is very well known, like locally, pardon me, very famous, was going to come to our class, and we all read like a story. It was a story that was published over a number of columns in the newspaper, if I remember correctly. And then we were all going to read it, and had the whole collection. And then he was going to come in and talk to us about it. Hold on just one second. Is there anything else in this room? No. So this story was written primarily from the perspective of a woman. So when he came in, one of the questions that I asked him is, do you ever... What's your process? I'm trying to remember exactly how it was phrased. Is there any sort of like concern when you're writing from the perspective of somebody who's very different? Like this is all written from the perspective of a woman, and is there anything you do to sort of like keep that voice in my head it was like keep that voice consistent, but I guarantee you that at that age, like 17, 18 years old, I definitely did not phrase it that way. And he looked at me and said, no, it's not really a big deal. And if you're ever in a position where a girl wants to talk to you, you'll realize that they're not all that different. That was his answer to me. It was... Like, nobody asked him any questions after that. It was this, like, A, it wasn't unwarranted, but B, I guess if anything, I should be very impressed by his ability to snap to exactly the correct, guess of how popular I was in high school. I'm not much of a guess, more of a very educated deduction. But to just be that savage about it when I was legitimately trying to and by the way, lest you think that I was like acting a turd before that, or I hadn't read the story, or like bothered him. No, this was the, like, to my memory, like the one and only question that was posed. Like, I think I was first. And when that was his response, that kind of shut everybody else down. Like, this is not an everybody clapped, nor is it, by the way, that I got an outpouring of sympathy afterwards. This was something that happened, and nobody, as far as I know, I'm the only human being involved, including the writer, that remembers that this happened. If you were to ask the teacher that was there, I'd be surprised if it left an impression on him. This story doesn't go anywhere except that, honest to God, I thought it was very, very funny, because it was just, it's hard to feel insulted when it's so out of the blue. Here we go. As you may know, a valued member of our team was recently reassigned off of Project Arbutus. Carla Livingston's designs and engineering expertise were a key part of the creation of the ATDs. Their contribution to the project cannot be overstated. The project team should rest assured that their reassignment was an error and should be corrected soon. Our project director, Dr. Diana Marmon, would like to remind all team members that any directives or assignments from Dr. Jules Marmon have no bearing on our Buddhist staff and should be ignored. Thank you for your attention. Recently reassigned off. Yeah, so he was poaching staff, basically, is what I pull from that. Princess Casey got banned from creative writing class immediately from the moment I applied, and then got told to go to religious education class, pretty much gay conversion therapy, and I passed, and I'm still incredibly gay. Wait, why did they kick you from creative writing? Did you write something that they were like, oh, this person is gay, so we need to put them into gay conversion therapy? And like, I don't know anything about what, like Casey's program. Here in the United States, gay conversion therapy is brutal, it is inhumane, it is incredibly ineffective, and it's psychologically very dangerous. So I don't know what it's like in Scotland. Is it in Scotland? I'm always concerned that I'll say the wrong one. Like, I'll say Ireland instead of Scotland or vice versa. But no, everybody in life has been insulted in some way that made them feel like very embarrassed, very mortified. I'd be impressed to meet somebody who has not had, well, impressed maybe not. If anybody ever said that they'd never been insulted in a way that hit close to home, that resonated with them, that made them feel bad, and sort of like is something that might come to mind during those 3 a.m. stares at the ceiling, I don't think I would be impressed. I think I'd feel a little bit bad for that person. I mean, maybe they're just such a phenomenal human being that nobody ever thought ill of them, but since that's not the way that humanity works, it would sort of make me feel like that person was broadly disconnected from the opinions of others, so much so that they just thought that they were above reproach. Human beings also don't work like that. Oh, there's at least... No, there's 2 things I haven't been into. There's a cell and then a door. You guys haven't died yet, that I remember. That feels good. Have I died yet? I might have, I don't remember. Wall removal and transport from sublevel 2 lane cell. A section of the cell's southern wall needs to be removed for transport to sublevel 5 for analysis. Tools required. It's not my job to know which tools you use to cut concrete walls. It's your job. See, this requisition, this request would not get lost because that's not bad. Additional details, important. The wall must be removed very carefully. The painting on the interior side must not be damaged. You guys, we are going to see that painting if we haven't already. Maybe that is the talking painting. Okay, well, I've got to find a way to see this. Writing, painting, music, rhymes, and sculpture. Those are all art. Art, question mark. Dancing, movies, TV. Movies and TV could be both art and not art. Theater, puppets, and martial arts. What about Night Springs? What about video games? Are those in the not art category? What about cooking, not art, baking, knitting, speaking, rock stacking, bullshit charts, hide this, sewing, graffiti, graffiti, graffiti. Anybody that thinks that baking can't be art hasn't seen those. Is it a real thing or is it cake? You guys remember that from, what's it called? Not TikTok, but, or maybe it was on TikTok. But like, at least on Twitter, people posting videos about like a human hand, but it was actually a cake. A basketball. Like, it looked like an absolutely real basketball, but it was a cake.
Jules Marmont looked at the painting. He didn't understand it. Saw only random whirls of color. Drugging Lane made him more compliant, but his work had turned abstract. Jules needed more art his team could parse, could test, trial and error. These abstract explosions of color complicated the data. His grip tightened around the letter opener in his hand. The piece of art he needed was hidden inside Lane. If Jules could simply cut the painter open and pull the painting out of him, he would. The overhead lights flickered. Jules would make Lane cooperate. No more drugs. Less carrot, more stick. Jules had to go faster. He wouldn't lose to Diana. Nothing else mattered.
And by the way, obviously this is the section of wall that was removed because the door was right here.
I can't paint anymore. I know you want me to paint, but I can't. I'm empty. Rudolph, no. You love to paint. And you are such a talent. This is just the classic artist slump. No. No, I hate it. It's just taking from me now. When can I leave? You said you'd let me leave. Ah, Rudolph, but you volunteered to come, remember? We are helping you, like Dr. Hartman did. Perhaps you need to see our doctor? I can arrange that. No. No, that's... I am feeling better. much better. I will paint. This is wonderful to hear, Rudolph. I knew you would come back to your old self.
Subject condition report regarding redacted. Background information. Rudolph Lane, subject P. Okay, so I'm just vaguely curious on if I went back and really examined Dr. Emil Hartman's clinic in Alan Wake 1, if Rudolph Lane is there, so there's some guy painting or something, because I really wouldn't be surprised. Has shown a decline in redacted over the past several months. Initially, this redacted presented as an increase in resistance, frequently declining requests to work. However, given time and pressure, subject would always relent. Subject's attitude towards art has also undergone a change recently. He is disinterested in his work, quickly becoming frustrated and sometimes even damaging or destroying the piece before it is completed. In the past few months, his work has become much more abstract, no longer showing true-to-life subjects or landscapes, but rather conceptual art that is much harder to define or categorize. Whether this sudden interest in abstraction was a form of rebellion, a consequence of growing redacted, or a source of genuine artistic interest is unknown. If I had to guess, you haven't locked in a little coffin room. How is he supposed to be creative? Current situation. As of yesterday, subject refuses to touch his supplies. He claims he will not paint anymore and wishes to leave. The subject's refusal has effectively halted all research. While the team can continue to run tests on the backlog of paintings, they estimate that there is little new information to gain. The subject must continue to paint if work is to proceed. However, the team is concerned that convincing the subject with force or coercion may only entrench him further in his position. Action to be taken. Dr. Jules Marmont, co-head of research and project lead, has suggested that a high dose of redacted be introduced to the subject's food to cure his redacted. If the patient's attitude does not improve, then low doses of redacted will be introduced in order to improve his compliance. There was a really beautiful line in the Time Traveler's Wife about how creativity needs room. It needs physical space to expand and to breathe. I don't have it here. That's not what was written, but it was something, it was so well stated that I clipped it out and quoted it I didn't cut it out of the book, but I quoted it out, and I just don't have it here. The idea that you could have anybody paint in an environment like this, just thick, bland, featureless gray walls, a camera to watch, just I guess they probably let him out from time to time, but no. Pirate Percy says sounds like artist block to me. Oh, and this is the other room. And artist burnout, perhaps. Set aside the room that he's in. They just had him doing nothing but painting all day, every day. More painting. Do it faster. More works. Readings collected over the last 48 hours show a rising increase in activity stemming from the Cauldron Lake threshold, likely indicating an imminent AWE scenario. The highest recorded reading exceeded the safety limit, necessitating a general alert and requesting assistance from the assigned AWE response team. However, no alert or contact with external teams has been made per the recent amends to this procedure. As specified, the monitoring team will take no action until sign-off from either Drs. Marmont has been received. Considering the rate of escalation that recent data indicates, the monitoring team strongly recommends that the AWE response team be contacted immediately. Harris Cruz. Or Cruz? K-R-U-S. I wish Carolina was here. He'd probably have a sense of how to pronounce that. Just double checking that I've got things reloaded. Yeah, so that's our level 3. So the good news is we have our level 2 thing. I'm gonna just run back and save really quick. I'm just saying that we could step off the elevator on the next floor and walk directly into an axe. Wait. I think I just completely went the wrong way. In this game, sometimes you're like, wait a second, did space fold around me and I wound up being taken in the wrong way? But no. just not going in the right direction. No, I feel like the benefit of this little jog is, let's do a real save. Right here. This is like 8 hours ago. The benefit that that little jog might take a moment, but it might save us a lot of time. Imagine if I got killed and then we had to run around and at least tap on all that stuff to read it again. I feel like it's better to just be safe. Hello to Kay, and happy Monday to you. Kay, I hope that your weekend went very well, and hopefully your Monday even better. So now we have a level 2 keycard. What floor do we want to visit? This one. We want to go to -3. Wait, am I... Right, okay. We have to go to the other elevator. Okay, if you're just joining us, we're doing the Lake House DLC. I'm getting the sense that it will not be completed in this episode because there's a lot of stuff to read. It's very Control. Oh, sorry. We want to go to... But now we can go to other sub-levels as well. I'm just noting that we've got a couple things to pick up on this level.
Sub-level 3.
All right. I just want to do a quick sweep through here because, man, it really wants you to know that there's containers here somewhere. It's gotta be bugged.
There was a crack in the lake house. The marmots had let the lake in.
All right, here's one of 2 doors. Oh, but Kay, we're currently playing as Kiran Estevez. She is an FBC agent, and she is recounting to Saga what happened at the lake house.
Water dripped from the ceiling as Diana stared at the folders stacked on her workstation. Each one was a branch of research. Drip. Some were thin, some thick. They represented years of her life, her work, dissecting the act of creation and examining the bloody pieces. Bringing in live subjects had been her idea. Drip. Bureau leadership denied their request. But after HQ went into lockdown, she took advantage of the chaos and got her artists. Jules had whined about the optics. Diana ignored him. Now in her office below the waterline of Cauldron Lake, she considered how to proceed. Jules was convinced the page they had found would come true. It promised disaster. A situation out of control. Impossible. Diana was always in control. Drip. Drip. She needed answers. She needed to quantify, to define, to control.
Nothing else over here, nothing over here. It could just be that page. I'd be a little bit surprised if we found anything in these side rooms that was like hyper-critical. Although apparently there's another room down here we didn't look in at all. Third one down. Okay, also, how was your weekend? You know, Monday is Monday. There's oftentimes not a lot of great to it. You know who used to have great Mondays? Centrifugal Force. I hope that at some point before the end of the year we get another visit from Centrifugal Force. I just wanted to know that we really miss her. Hold on.
March 7th, 2018. Notes regarding Dr. Emil Hartman, founder of the Cauldron Lake Lodge, where he manipulated artists in an attempt to control the power of the Shadow. I've gone through his notes, which were confiscated by the Bureau after his arrest in 2010. Overall, Hartman's work was slow. Complete disregard for proper scientific method. But he was bold enough to try something we haven't. Our procedural writing machines are promising, but we could understand the effects of Cauldron Lake's threshold much better by observing live artists in action. Thanks to Hartman, we even have a list of prospects. The next step is to send Dr. Darling a request to bring some into the lake house for analysis.
We've begun to find pages from a manuscript very likely written by Alan Wake, para-utilitarian and suspect in past cases involving the Cauldron Lake AWE. Though I do not like to bring myself or my biases into my work, I must do so here to address the matter being examined. As reference for any future readers, I am Dr. Diana Marmon, co-head of research at the Lake House facility. The page we recently found summarizes my life with Jules Marmon, husband and co-researcher. It has turned us into characters for its story, making generalizations and assumptions that I must attempt to evaluate without emotion or prejudice. The accuracy of the writing is intriguing. It reports our past in the Bureau, but also details inner thoughts that an outside recorder would have no way of knowing. Jules and I have indeed been having more and more interpersonal conflict this past year. This raises many questions. How does Wake, wherever he's writing this from, get his information? Or was the page itself determining these emotions and events? I cannot believe that the scope of Wake's ability goes so far as to have dictated my entire career at the FBC. And if it did, would it matter? Even if a person knew their life was being driven by an external force, would it change their nature, their behavior, their personality? My disagreements with Jules are not sudden shifts in personality, but rather a growing resentment. I firmly believe that, though I have no evidence to prove it, which brings me to a new research query for our team. What methodology can one use to prove that their actions, their mind, their love, or animosity are theirs to control? Lady, if you could prove that, you'd solve philosophy. We'd be done. We wouldn't need the philosophy departments. Just look at this scientific paper proving that you are. Kay says the weekend was very quiet. They got snow last night for the first time. And she has to say that she's not ready. Kay, it is going to be over 80 degrees here on Halloween. I am not ready for that. Don't get me wrong, I like calm weather, like temperate weather, but I also really like cool weather. Case it's going to be 68 on Thursday. Yeah, so you're not that far off from what we're going to be.
Jules' team has found new pages written by Wake. He must have gotten Rudolph Lane painting again. His bullshit pedestrian methodology cannot produce results before mine. I have to go faster, no matter the cost. We're still behind our projections. The more the machines can produce, the closer we can calibrate them to Wake's style. But proper calibration takes a lot of raw material, and production is slow. We're changing directions. The hypothesis remains unchanged. Imitating Wake's writing style will allow us to generate art capable of linking with the threshold. Our live subject should match Wake's style much faster. People can be calibrated just like a machine. You simply have to push the right buttons.
Yeah, super not convinced that she's any better than her husband. I mean, regardless of like whatever backstabbery he was doing to her on the job, her job, she seems to have gone out of her way to be like really uncaring about the people that she's affecting with her research. To use art with the power of the shadow, we must first define art. Thesis: Does a critic define what is art? Where do we find critics? Kidnap or lure in the critics? Or the audience? Are we the audience? Must we like the art? What is the role of an artist? Who is an artist? If you believe you are an artist, you are one? Do you need to be good? Does quality matter? Okay, if you can answer that, then we don't need any art programs either. Define an artist. A drug-using bum, often wears a turtleneck and drinks red wine. Left-wing political views. Danger. If left-wing politics made real by the shadow. Danger if left-wing politics made real by the shadow. Any right-wing artists? Not for abstract art or poems. This might... So this is it, except for there is apparently one box in the middle. Oh, hello to Abtaria! Yeah, as Abtaria says, Abtaria is, as most people here know already, an artist and a very talented one in her own right. She does all of the, like, overlays and frames and stuff for Goblin Tuesday. Abtaria, I feel like it's been a while since I've seen Goblin Tuesday online. Has he been online in like the last week or so? Maybe I've just missed. Okay, this might be one that again doesn't actually exist. Or exists in like a parallel automatic writer's room. He was streaming this morning. Yeah, see, I was at work. I would have missed the whole thing. We had a lot of family role play. Hold on. Hey! No, please don't die. Was this guy here? I have to confess that I looked at chat for a second. I mean, I feel like I was done here. I mean, I wouldn't have complained about visiting that save room, but it's not worth trying to fight the paint monster that I can't actually affect. Okay, so first of all, let me just get to any other floor. I didn't check the map first. Abtaria, I hope it was a fun time with family. Yeah, we're just gonna use one of these. I was hoping to heal a little bit in the light, but that wasn't really happening. And if I use a second one of those, it's too much. Yeah, we don't have a trauma pad or anything like that.
Level 1.
Oh, you fucking bastard!
Jules Marmont killed my team. He was taken by the shadow. I'm sorry.
Okay, hopefully we can look around a little bit before we get in trouble. Yes, so this is where room number, or like the thing number 3 is. Security key card. Is there anything else in here? Well, there's a save point right on the other side of the room. I'd really like to go there. But Abtaria, I've been there for some of the recent art streams. I love the way that you have like the animated goblin hand holding the pen to sort of like, it's not just like the art is appearing, but rather it looks like your character is drawing it. I think that's a really nice touch. Yeah, so we're just gonna make a beeline for this. Except we have a problem. We can't get in there because the painting's in the way, so we're gonna have to move that! Leave me alone! Oh, wait, it doesn't pause when we do this. It also helps to see in general. Hold on. I don't know if it helps in the paint monsters to have the flashlight off. Is there a way into this thing? Well, now I'm fucked. Hold on. No, now I just die. Okay, I wandered into like a little dead end there. It also helps to see where the pen is in general, which is why I like it. Yeah, I think it's very cool. I'm glad that I saved. Let's try to not get punched this time. Oh, wait, is it right? Hold on. It's right here. The switch that we want to throw.
I mean, that name is not very scientific. I mean...
Like some kind of assistant? Un putain d'assistant? Moi? I run the lake house. This is my facility. Mine! You cannot just walk in here for 1 week, make some speeches, and then fly back to New York? Espèce de crétin! Prétentieux! The jackass thinks he's a fucking rock star! And he made fun of the name. Oh, the Shadow. The Shadow is good. It's evocative. He is just a jealous, spoiled little child. And I will make it so everyone can see this. I will make it so no one even remembers his name. Tous ces imbéciles là, hein? They all think I am a pencil pusher. They think I do not have the mind for such work. Eh bien, ils verront. Ils verront! I will take what they think is possible. But I will break it.
Vlogs would be a lot more interesting if people made them on reel-to-reel projectors all the time. Kind of expensive. Wait. Did I think I flipped the switch. I got caught up in that story. I got caught up in the story because I was thinking to myself, I believe this is French, and I regret that Grumpy is not here to help translate some of the more unknowable words like imbecile. Okay, go. Yeah, Atari, I hope that your weekend went well. I hope that your Monday has gone okay. Wait, there's a cat. 021219. Hello, Carla. I've decided to reassign you from Project Romnus to Inventory Management. Your title will be changed to from Senior Researcher to Acting Inventory Supervisor, effective immediately. You may find this change sudden, but I have no doubt someone with a nut allergy like yourself would prefer to work alone in the inventory booth than out in the open where any dangerous pies might be waiting for you. I fucking hate this guy. Perhaps some hard work will keep you from making any more unfounded HR complaints. There's a significant... Oh, we read that. We read that, and we read that. Okay. Grumpy has defined imbecile. It equals moron. So, Grumpy, like that French, was that good French from a French speaker? Or did you not hear it? Because you might have been away. Got the firing mechanism working. It's throwing the test projectiles a good distance. Turned out pretty nicely. The fittings between the grenade launcher and custom components are a bit loose. No proper lathe here, but at least it works. Now I need some actual black rock for the test. I know that someone's sub-level 5, but the acting inventory supervisor doesn't get access to that floor. Next steps, source black rock. Grumpy was not paying attention. I heard the French, but don't remember now. Here's our gun. Well, it's ours now.
Okay, this should get me down to sub-level 5. And this should get me past any other problems.
Charge the Blackrock launcher by holding down right trigger. Charge shots go farther and deal more damage on impact. Pause, because we really want to have this quick slotted. Probably right here. And then we're going to move the flares to... That's not move. Move. Nope. Quick slot to... let's put it over here. I don't want to get it mixed up with like the other type of grenade. Okay. It's not what I meant to do. There we go.
There was a crack in the lake house. The Marmonts had let the lake in, but the water could not flow. It became trapped, stagnant, went bad. The truth was controlled here. The art was not art, just content for the experiment. The contrived overlap rebounded on itself, compressing, compounding, reflecting and refracting. An urban legend and a murder in constant imbalance, cause and effect hopelessly entangled. Arranged wrong, the dream logic flawed. The feedback loop doubled and redoubled, out of control. The pressure kept building, looking for a release.
Obtaria, have I failed at properly spelling Goblin Tuesday? I don't know why a shout-out didn't come out. Okay, there is something else in here. Progress update. Oh, no. Sorry, I didn't recognize the, I was so caught up in reading it that I just didn't...
Powder.
Oh.
Need to keep an eye out for more of these.
When I started to read this a second time, it was like I got distracted by the fact that the coffee cup was knocked over. It was like, oh, I must not have seen this before. Okay, so we've been through level -1. No, wait, now we have... Yeah, now we can get into the interview room on sub-level 2. So let's go there. Well, that sucked. I don't have a lot of those. I don't feel like I care about killing this thing. I just want to get out. Oh, I'm so far from out.
Finally! Something works on these bastards.
I'm not sure there's a limited number of them, though. I feel a little bad about the lack of elevator here. Right, the elevator, it comes in down here, but out on the other side. I might need to move the paintings again. This. So I don't feel good about, like, completely missing that shot, or taking the damage. So I feel like I'm out of healing right now. but we'll just have to play very carefully. All right, and we agreed it's sub-level 2, right? That I want to go to?
The Shadow had changed Jules Marmont into a hostile, paranatural entity. That made everything simpler. No arrest, no paperwork. I could put him down like the monster he was.
Sublevel 2.
Oh, man. I guess we better keep this at handy.
Lane was found dead in his cell this morning. It's an unfortunate setback. But when a door is closed, a window is opened. I believe that's the saying. Lane may be gone, but he left us with a goodbye present. A final piece of art. This piece is different. It's raw emotion, pure truth. He put everything he had into this one. Literally. Every reading we take is off the charts. This is what we have been waiting for. It is the key. I will achieve what no one has before me. Not darling, that arrogant shit. Not my selfish harpy or the wife.
So, we have a painter and a painting that can talk. Clearly connected. But Lane was dead before any of this even happened.
I never needed any of it. The fools will finally see me for the genius I am.
Cozy Play says it might not be here long, just stopped in to say hello again. Cozy Plays, I hope that the rest of your night goes well. To the extent that we have you, it's wonderful that we do. And otherwise, if you'll be streaming later on today, I'd love to stop by. Okay, that's not actually opening because it has something in it. And yeah, I hope that you had a great weekend. Kay says, are you still going to be playing Alan Wake for Extra Life, or do you have anything else fun planned? Yeah, it'll be something different. We're still weighing some possibilities, but thank you for bringing that up, because yes, Extra Life is now well less than a week away. It's like 3 days away? Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Yeah, it's coming up on Friday. So that's 4 days, really. Status of Project Arbutus. As a head of research of the Lake House, it is important that I have informed of all proceedings at this facility. Since the other Dr. Marmon is failing to provide me with details about her team's progress, I ask that you all seek information from members of her team. Yeah, they were being assigned to, like, spy on her, or spy on the project. Anyone who comes to me with details on Project Arbutus' current progress will be rewarded. Yeah, sure. But yes, that we'll be doing something separate, and possibly a couple things. Last year we switched games partway through, and I felt like that helped to keep things fresh. But yeah, trying to continue with an existing playthrough for Extra Life, it's challenging because hopefully, if you're very, very, very fortunate, and there's like you know, donations and engagement to call out, there's hopefully going to be a lot of that. And otherwise, people stopping in that haven't before, that are, again, even if you're just there to hang out, just there to lurk, it helps the event quite a lot. So sometimes you'll have like people coming in and they're hanging out, they're chatting with people that they haven't met before, they're curious in what you're playing. So to continue on a playthrough that's going, to pick it up in the middle would be sort of off-putting to folks that are coming in for the first time. So yeah, we always start up something different for Extra Life. One year we did Sifu, which was a lot of fun, and it was so perfect. Like that playthrough of Sifu, and like when I say playthrough, until I died, was exactly the length of the stream. It was wild. And then 2 previous years before that, I played Batman Arkham City, and prior to that I did Batman Arkham Asylum in a single sitting, by the way. Like Arkham Asylum, very, very fun. We did that. Yeah, I think that we're on shit. Let's forget where the stupid elevator goes. That's not a complaint. Sorry, I don't want to sound like I'm mad. I'm just like, damn elevator. No, I don't remember where the elevator is. Let's look down over here. Cozy Plays is saying that she's about to start streaming. Gotta go now. Cozy Plays, there it is. Have a great evening. I know that Salamander... Hold on, let's just take a look. Is there anything that we want to do on any of the other floors that we have interacted with so far? No, but I am going to stop on level 03, -3. What I was going to say is that Salamander in the past has continued on with some of the stuff that he streams, partially because it tends to be less narrative focused. In other words, I would not expect him to see him continuing with something like... Hold on. Unicorn Overlord, or when he was playing Dark Cloud, which I think he finished, I'm not 100% sure, but when it comes to something like Factorio or Satisfactory, those things I think that he'd be very likely to just continue on with, because there's not so much narrative, and actually they get more engaging for people the deeper in that it goes. I stopped here to save it because this is going to have to be it. I don't know how much of Lake House DLC we have left, but whatever's going to happen down on floor 4, I have to assume is going to be like a big chunk. It's like a very large floor. The facility actually seems to get larger the further down you go, and that would be a little bit more than I think that we'll have time to do this evening. So what we'll do is call it here. We might be back as early as tomorrow. It is equally likely that we'll be off for a couple days getting ready, getting some final things ready for Extra Life. It sort of depends on how far we go. But we're going to call it here and go find somebody fun to raid. Thank you all very much for hanging out for this quasi-debut stream, but otherwise continuation of Alan Wake 2, and we'll see you guys again soon for some more Alan Wake 2. Until then, thank you so much, and I hope you have a great evening.